The galactic archive orbited no world. It existed in the void between stars, a repository of knowledge deemed too dangerous, too volatile, too human for general consumption. Kor's claws clicked against the crystalline floor as he approached the sealed door. His people, the Vrexian Consortium, had maintained this archive for 3 centuries, cataloging the rise and fall of civilizations. They were prey species turned administrators, their evolutionary caution making them perfect archivists. They preserved everything but touched nothing dangerous. The door before him bore warnings in 47 languages. All said the same thing: human combat doctrine, restricted access, psychological hazard. "The elders say this section corrupts judgment," whispered Senna, another young archivist. Her golden eyes reflected the warning symbols. "They say humans were monsters who glorified violence." Kor's tail lashed with youthful defiance. "They say humans defeated the krill hegemony. Prey species don't do that." His claws found the override panel. "I want to know how." The door opened with a hiss that sounded like a predator's breath. Inside, holographic displays activated automatically. Arya stood among them, not physically, but as a recorded presence, a human woman with kind eyes and a warrior's posture. Her image had been captured decades ago, before the humans had mysteriously vanished from known space. "If you're seeing this," Arya's recording said, her smile gentle yet knowing, "you've opened something your people tried to keep from you. I won't stop you. Pandora's boxes exist to be opened. But understand, what you learn here will change." Kor and his companions, 7 young Vrexians who'd followed him into forbidden territory, stood transfixed as the archives came alive. The Xiao. First files were tactical analyses. The Vrexians watched, horrified and fascinated. As human soldiers demonstrated concepts their prey instincts found alien. Aggressive flanking, calculated risk-taking, the deliberate choice to advance into danger rather than flee from it. They moved toward the threat, breathed Senna. Voluntarily. "Look at their formation." Kor pointed with a trembling claw. "The strong ones position themselves between danger and the weak. They choose to take the hit." Arya's recording walked them through it. "We call it covering fire, taking point, holding the line. 100 phrases for the same concept, standing between those you love and those who'd harm them." The files grew more intense. Battle after battle, humans fighting krill warriors, actual predator species with claws and armor and generations of hunting instinct. The recording showed humans losing, bleeding, dying. But they showed something else too. They showed humans learning. "Notice," Arya's voice continued, "we lose this battle, and this one. We're weaker, slower, our bodies fragile. But watch what happens next." The next engagement showed the same human unit now moving differently. They'd studied their enemy, adapted their tactics, turned their weakness into strategy. Where the krill expected strength against strength, humans offered misdirection. Where predators relied on instinct, humans deployed innovation. "You're not teaching us to be soldiers," Kor said to the recording, knowing it couldn't respond. "You're teaching us to be hunters." But Arya's recording smiled as if she'd heard him. "I'm teaching you to be survivors." There's a difference. The Vrexians spent weeks in that forbidden section. They studied human military history, from ancient Earth wars to the final battle against the krill. They learned about Thermopylae, where 300 held against thousands. About Stalingrad, where humans fought for every meter of frozen ground. About the siege of Terra Nova, where outnumbered colonists held off the krill advance for 6 months until reinforcements arrived. But more than tactics, they learned why. Humans didn't fight because they were naturally violent. They fought because they'd been prey once too on an ancient savanna, facing creatures stronger and faster. They'd learned that prey could become predator if they were clever enough, brave enough, desperate enough. "We're not so different," Kor realized, his claws tracing the scar on his arm from a training accident. "Our ancestors ran from predators too. We just forgot we could turn and face them." The transformation was subtle at first. The young Vrexians began moving differently through the archive's corridors, heads higher, steps more confident. They started training together, applying human tactics to their own physiology. Their prey species reflexes, once seen as limitations, became advantages when channeled through predatory intent. The elders noticed. Concerned delegations visited the forbidden section, finding the door open and the younglings inside, studying recordings of human marines. "This is exactly what we feared," the head archivist declared. "You're becoming violent, aggressive. This is what destroyed the humans, their own warrior nature turned inward." Kor stood to face them, and the elders stepped back. Not from threat, but from the presence he now carried. He moved like the humans in the recordings, ready, balanced, dangerous if necessary. "The humans didn't destroy themselves," Kor said quietly. "They ascended. The records are clear. They didn't die out. They evolved beyond the need for physical form. But before they left, they sealed this knowledge, knowing someday another prey species would need it." He gestured to the recordings. "The Krill hegemony is expanding again. They're moving toward Vrexian space. In 5 years, maybe 10, they'll reach our worlds. And when they do, what will we do? Run? Hide? Beg for mercy?" Senna stepped forward, standing beside Kor. Then another young archivist. Then another. 7 younglings who'd discovered humanity's legacy, now standing together as a pack. "Or," Kor continued, "we remember that prey species became humans, and humans became legends, not through violence for its own sake, but through the courage to protect what matters." The head archivist looked at Arya's still smiling hologram. "You knew this would happen. You wanted this." Arya's recording had one final message triggered by certain keywords. Her image solidified, looking directly at the camera with knowing eyes. "I warned them," she said, her smile widening. "I told them this knowledge would change them. But I also knew the truth. They were never really prey. None of our species were. We were all survivors waiting to remember our teeth." She leaned forward, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's legacy. "The cubs have learned to hunt. Now they'll teach the hegemony what their ancestors already knew. Predators who forget that prey can fight back don't stay predators for long." "Welcome to the pack," Arya said. "Now show the galaxy what you've always been." The recording ended. Kor and his companion stood in silence, then began the long walk back to the main archive. They had work to do. The Vrexian Consortium needed warriors now, not just archivists. The cubs had learned from legends, and legends, Kor thought with a predator's smile, always hunted in packs.